ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive. Brought to you by Huntington Federal Savings Bank. Local then, local now. Member FDIC.
Welcome in. It is the Monday, March 9th edition. The Drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. Paul Swann and Dave Walsh with you, coming to you live today from the Union Pub and Grill, 1125 4th Avenue in Huntington. Of course, you can be a part of the program anytime. Two ways to do that. Come hang out with us here at the Union, or all you have to do, of course, is get yourself on the phone at 877-420-TALK, 877-420-8255. Those the numbers to be a part of today's program. And, Dave, we got a lot to get into because today we are getting set for, of course, the Conference USA tournament. We are also getting set, of course, for March Madness in general.
Yep. This time next week, we'll be starting their brackets.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited. It's going to be huge. So Get your brackets started now. Start plotting it out. Start breaking down teams. Look at trends. Look at all that bracketology.
Right.
Yeah. Do you do all that?
No. I go on my computer and look up all the networks and predictors and see what they do and then go from there. They've seen more than I have. I'm just wondering who's going to be the sleeper this year.
I don't know.
Will Dayton get the love this year? Will they be the one outside of the big boys?
I got to pick a team.
Yeah.
I was thinking Duke once upon a time. It's like Duke.
They look vulnerable right now.
Okay. How about Kansas?
That's not a bad pick. You can have like Kansas, like Gonzaga.
I'm never
somebody of the Big Ten.
Never taking Gonzaga.
I know. Somebody
never.
of the Big Ten, but then I'm thinking, well, I want to see how much love they give Dayton for the year they've had.
Dayton Flyers, yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know where to go this year. I dare enter a bracket this year.
And if some certain team wins 4 games starting Wednesday, we'll have to pencil them in.
Right. That is exactly right, because that's the Marshall Thundering Herd. They're in Frisco.
Right.
They have been in Texas
for a long time.
Last week.
Right.
They got down there. They left because I last saw them on Thursday. I went to practice on Thursday.
Right.
And then after practice, they went to Lexington. And then they took their flight over to San Antonio.
Okay.
They played UTSA on Saturday.
Yeah.
And then, if I understood them correctly, because I was talking to a couple of the players today, they got on the bus and then took off to Frisco.
Which is
about 4.5 hours, 4.5.
That's Texas, a big state.
It is a big state.
Yeah.
So they've had some fun in between.
Right. And they're there until they finish.
Yeah. They're there.
Hopefully Saturday.
They're going to try to lock down and get this thing going. And we're going to hear from Jarrod West a little bit later on. Also, Andrew Taylor and Taevion Kinsey. The reason why we're going to hear from them is because, well, some of the Conference USA awards came out today. Jarrod West, you know already he's a guy who hits the books. He got honored for his academics.
Yeah.
While this is now just being a basketball player on the court. He made the all-defensive team.
Right, which I understand.
He also made third-team Conference USA.
I want to see who made it ahead of him, but I mean, I'm sure Western, North Texas, and La Tech had some people out there too, so we'll see. But Jarrod he's a true two-way player.
Taevion Kinsey made second team.
Yes, I can see that.
And Andrew Taylor, all freshman team.
Not bad for half a season.
No, not bad at all. And we'll talk to these guys a little bit later on. So it was basically, here you go. You got X amount of minutes. Here you go, because they got done with practice. So I talked to them maybe about an hour ago, and we'll hear all that coming up here in a few minutes. So I'm looking forward to talking to those guys. And, of course, big time on Wednesday. 9 o'clock's our airtime, 10 o'clock tip. If you don't have a place to watch it, listen to it on the radio.
Exactly.
And, of course, if you're looking for a place to watch it, more likely you might want to come to the Union Pub and Grill. And, of course, maybe, just maybe, they'll have the Southside Sliders out today.
Yeah. I thought about you Saturday night when they came on, when they all the things ran. They had an indication of when they play, who they play. I said, Paulie, 10 o'clock start, not good. Not good. For the women, great. 11 a.m., noon, that's great. But it's the first one and the last one. So
I'm just going to tell you right now, I won't be in the office early on Thursday.
No. They should have a toss-up there, but if they do get by that first round game, Rice waiting for them on the tip-off game on Thursday. So they got a tall order, a real tall order.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for everyone coming up. And, of course, speaking of Conference USA, Savannah Wheeler on the women's side named Conference USA all-freshman team.
She had it here. You know, last year's named Miss Basketball in Kentucky. Now she's all-conference as a freshman. She keeps on keeping on.
That's pretty good
but
for her.
They need more than her, though, to climb that ladder a little bit.
They can make a run. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what they can do. But you've got a nucleus to work around. You've got a core now you can work around. And I think Tony Kemper's doing it right.
Yeah.
He's building it up.
He's building.
It's not going to be one of those quick fixes. And
No.
again, there are challenges when you're at Marshall University. Budgetarily, there are challenges.
Right. And he had to start over this year because you had two all-time guards gone. Shayna left, Miss Porter left, and that's a big loss. And they had somebody had to step up and fill the shoes.
I think they've got more balance now.
Yeah.
Be honest with you.
Yeah.
And if they can build on that and grow that, they're going to be a lot better team.
And then on the flip side with the men, the way they played the last 2 or 3 games, if I'm Danny, I'm feeling pretty good about the way they're going in. I know he's a hard man to please, but I got to be feeling pretty good.
You should feel good. They got a chance.
For a half and part of a second half at UTSA is like all world, and all of a sudden UTSA's got the ball with a chance to tie, and I went, what am I listening to here? And then their guy fouled Jarrod West on offensive play. I don't know what happened, but he made the free throws, and they got the W. Hit the bus to Frisco.
Take the bus, take the trip to Frisco. The good news is they don't have to play UAB.
No.
I was dreading that. I genuinely was dreading that.
Yes.
I shouldn't have to dread that because it's a neutral location.
Right.
Marshall can play with them, right?
Right.
I don't know. If there's any team that's Marshall's kryptonite right now, I think UAB's that team.
Yeah. And if Marshall gets by the first round in La Tech's waiting for them, and I'm sure they remember their trip here. But it's a neutral court,
but
so
they're
we'll see what happens.
They're beatable.
Marshall proved it.
And I'm not worried about them.
Yeah.
Western Kentucky, Marshall, I think, can beat them.
Yeah.
They can beat Marshall, too. It's
Right.
not one of those givens.
It's not one of those where you go like, well, we got one win, then we're coming home. No, they're legit.
So
they're legit. They shoot like they have been last year. The other night, watching on the computer, inside game, before he got into foul trouble, another guy was there, and when the inside game, he kicks it back out, and they're hitting threes. I mean, they scored 63 the entire game the first time there. Had 52 at the half. Saturday. They were hitting from everywhere. And on the replays, dunks, alley-oops, it was like, this is what we're used to seeing. So hopefully come Wednesday night about 10 o'clock, we'll see it some more.
They just need to go and play. And hopefully they are in a situation where they keep their legs underneath them. They don't get wore out.
Right.
We've seen years past where they've just gotten wore out. This is a different team from those teams, so each team is different. Taevion Kinsey said it in an interview I'll have with you a little bit later on that we're young.
Yeah.
He just came out and said it. We're young.
Yeah, no seniors.
We'll recover. We're
Senior
young.
night,
we
we're
can
two
handle
managers, but I'd say they have as many as 9 guys can play, so they can keep the legs as fresh as possible.
Yep.
To have to go 4 days, and 4 straight days, no break.
We're here today at the Union Pub and Grill, 1125 4th Avenue in Huntington. Now, every Monday, there's a reason why you come down. 3 real good reasons. Mm-hmm. 1, us.
We're here.
Us.
Right.
2, $1.50 bottles and $2 call shots. That's coming up every Monday, including today, right here at the Union Pub and Grill. When we come back, we're going to get you set to hear Jarrod West. I talked to him, 3rd team, Conference USA. Also, Conference USA all-defensive team. Had a quick chat with him. We'll hear that when we continue on today's edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
The Drive with Paul Swann. Marshall Athletic Director Mike Hamrick. He knows.
Paul's the best.
On ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
He does know.
He does.
He recently told me again, I'm the best.
I agree.
Paul Swann and Dave Walsh with you. Today's edition of The Drive coming to you from the Union Pub and Grill on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. So we found out today that 3 Marshall players earned some awards. Jarrod West, double honors because he makes the all-defensive team, and he also is 3rd team Conference USA. I think that should have been higher as far as 3rd team. I like to see him on 2nd team.
Yeah. That makes you wonder who's ahead of him. But I still say, what a two-way player. I would not want him guarding me. He is really, really, really a pain. As I tell him after games sometimes, you're a number 1 pain on people, and he says, that's what I'm expected to be. And he does it.
Well, here's who's ahead of him on the 2nd team. Devin Andrews, the kid from FIU, whose name I have a difficulty pronouncing, so I'm not even going to try it. I'm going to be up front with you. I'm not going to do it. Gibson from North Texas, and then Keaton Wallace. Those are second team along with Taevion.
Okay. Because the teams that are bringing honor to the teams that are higher. North Texas, La Tech, people like that.
Taevion Hollingsworth is going to get honored.
Right.
He's first team. Javon Jackson's going to be up there.
Right.
Bryson Williams is going to be up there. Javion Hamlet from North Texas and Daquan Bracey from Louisiana Tech. It's a solid list right there.
Yeah.
If Marshall is a little higher in the standings, maybe Taevion, he squeezes one of those guys out. I don't know which one he squeezes out, though.
Well, that guy from UTSA, Jackson.
Javon Jackson.
He had 37, I think, Saturday, but he took off a lot of shots.
He did.
He took off a lot of shots.
But he's a scorer.
And Danny said, even though they're up 19, he said, with those firepower from those guards, no lead is safe. Because 2-3 trips down the floor in this ball game, and it was.
Yeah.
It was.
So Jarrod West, he's on the third team, and he's defensive team recipient as well. And he's going to be defensive player of the year. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, he definitely made the defensive team. That's his forte. I had a chance to catch up with him about an hour ago, and here's my conversation with Jarrod West. Speaking with Jarrod West, who was announced today as third team All-Conference USA, also making the all-defensive team. Jarrod, if you would just talk about that first, being on the all-defensive team. That's really your forte out there on the court.
Yeah, defense is something I really take pride in. I feel like it's something that I really lay my hat on, and I just try to bring that every game. I try to be consistent defensively every single game, and I feel like I've done a pretty good job of that over the last couple of years. So I was very, grateful and excited to be on the all-defensive team. I feel like it was much deserved, and I'm going to try to continue to work hard defensively and continue what I'm doing.
How important do you think defense is going to be at this tournament coming up this week? Everybody's back to 0-0 now, and you start off on Wednesday, and sure, points are important, but if you keep the other team from scoring, it's not going to help them much, and that's where you guys have really been successful over these last few games, locking teams down when you need to.
Yeah, I think defense is going to be very important. We got to win 4 games in 4 days, but we got to take it one game at a time. Focus on our opponent, focus on the task at hand and what they're going to do. And honestly, I feel like that's probably the most important thing we can do this week is really lock down other teams. It's on a neutral floor, so we're not at home, they're not at home. It's going to be a new venue for all of us. So I think it's very important for us to lock in defensively and really take pride in that.
Now, you make the all-conference defensive team, but you got a lot of people out there helping as well. On any given night, if a shot goes up, Jarrod West is not the only guy out there. You got Jansen Williams. He's pretty good as far as being a rim defender. Iron Bennett, he's pretty solid as well. So on any given night, you could be causing turnovers. They're causing the opponent to miss shots by rejections. Really, it feels like not just you, a lot of your teammates really have stepped it up, maybe because of you, that they see defense as really key to this team.
Yeah, I feel like everybody plays their role defensively and everybody does it differently, I feel like our bigs do a really good job of rim protecting and making it hard for opposing teams to really go inside. And I feel like Tay, Andrew, and I, Darius, and Marco, and Jeremy, all our guards, I feel like we do a pretty good job of containing people off the dribble, keeping guys in front, making it hard for them. So it's really a team thing. All 5 guys got to be connected and know where everybody's going to be. And it's something that we take very important. Take very serious. So everybody plays their role in it. It's definitely a team thing. It's a collective group thing. So I feel like if we continue to stay consistent with that, we have a chance of making a run.
You also get named to the All-Conference third team, and that's a pretty big deal. How do you feel about that? Is that one more special to you than the all-defensive team? Are they both about the same? Where do they fall for you?
I wouldn't say it's more I wouldn't say it's more precious for me to win, to make third team. I feel like I'm grateful to make third team and all defensive team, but I don't think one really outweighs the other. I was glad I was on all defensive team though. I wanted to be recognized for that for sure. But I'm excited. I appreciate the accolades and stuff like that. But I just hopefully we can bring it this week and really get ourselves a championship. That's probably the most important thing is getting the conference championship. So I was really grateful to be on third team, all defensive team. I'm excited about that and everything. But, now we got to bring it to the table this week.
If you would, just talk about the trip. You've been in Texas for a few days now. You get a big win against UTSA. Then you make the trip to Frisco, and you're getting acclimated to just being in Texas. You know, how are you guys, as far as where are you at? How do you feel? I mean, it's been a long road trip so far.
Yeah, it really has been a long trip. We got a go road win at UTSA, and we went to the we went to practice today. We've been trying to get moving and stuff like that. It's hard sometimes to sit in the hotel all day. But, it's been a long trip, but we're just trying to stay focused and get fresh and stay mentally and physically prepared for the games coming up this week. We're trying to get our rest and everything, but we have to stay ready and stay focused at the same time. So we're all trying to do a pretty good job of that, and I feel like we've done so far. And, we're trying to spend time with each other as a team and everything. I feel like this is a good experience for all of us. So we're trying to enjoy it and take it all in. So we're excited for this week to start.
Is it ever easy to get used to playing basketball at the Star with the gymnasium style setup with the curtain, 2 courts? Is it ever easy?
It's really fun playing at the Star. It really is fun. It's hard to get acclimated to it because obviously you don't play there all year. You only really get like one day to get used to the gym and everything. But once you get in the gym, you can kind of feel the energy and the tournament atmosphere and the March atmosphere and stuff. So it's really a fun experience, a good experience for everybody who gets to make it down there. So it's hard to get acclimated to it super quick, but at the same time, we're all really grateful to be down here. We're going to try to embrace it, make the most of our opportunity, and just have fun while we're down here.
And congratulations once again. Well-deserved Conference USA, 3rd team. I think more deservingly, that defensive team, and really that's been your signature and your showcase all year long, and I hope to see you hopefully holding one more trophy here in a few days with the championship.
Yeah, man, thank you. I appreciate it. That's the ultimate goal, is win the conference title this week, so we're going to get after it.
Jarrod West from earlier this afternoon.
Very gracious, honored to get it. I mean, he wasn't gloating or anything like that. I'm just honored. I do what I do, and I got honored for it. But we have a bigger task in hand. Starting on Wednesday at 9 o'clock their time, we got to take 4 days to get, as you mentioned, one more trophy. And that's the main focus.
Offense is what people like when they go to a basketball game.
Yeah.
But if this team can lock it down, how important is that going to be?
It will be. I mean, sometimes you might not shoot the best, but if you play defense, you can guarantee the other team not shooting their best, so you'll give yourself a chance. That's all you want to do is give yourself a chance, and that's what they've done of late. I mean, you always think about Marshall, the way Danny has them going up and down the floor and stuff like that, but their defensive numbers, if you sit down and look at them, aren't that bad either. They make it difficult for teams to score. They make it difficult for them to score, and they'll tell you that when the post games you went back and look at them. They are hard to defend, and they're hard to, it's just that's the way they are.
Marshall, they've had success at the Star. They've had not so much success at the Star.
2 years ago, a lot of success. Last year was 2 and done, I think.
Are they in a situation?
They won the first round, and the next round they got knocked out. This year they're going to have to play, I think it's UTEP first round, and sitting and waiting for them is La Tech.
Are they in a situation where they can make a run?
Yeah.
Do you think they really are set up in the 6th seed?
I think they can make a run because, as we mentioned at the beginning, they're playing pretty good basketball at this time of year. If they keep shooting threes like that, it's going to open things up on the inside. If Mr. Bennett can stay on the floor a little longer than 2 fouls in the first 3 minutes. I mean, the other day down at UTSA, boom, boom, he's on the bench. But they had the other guys. And what's Michael Byers like in Texas? He's been going off when he's in Texas, or relative in the stands, one or the other.
Maybe he likes the atmosphere, the air, the water.
If I'm Marshall, I'm finding all relatives this week. I mean, he's awesome when the relatives are in the house.
Yeah, if I was Dan, I would have flew in everybody to get that kid to shoot.
Yeah.
If Bennett can stay on the court, and if Jansen Williams can hit a shot.
Yeah. That gives you inside, outside.
That gives you everything you need.
The other day, I mean, Bennett's inside a couple of that, and all of a sudden they collapse on him. They put it back outside. Here comes Jarrod, Andrew, Taylor. I mean, they're hitting threes, and, they're double figures in threes of almost every game of late. That's not bad.
And
12 or 13 a game, and then Michael Byers off the bench.
Yeah, if Byers can hit as well,
they've
got an opportunity here.
Yeah. Because they can play 9 deep and really not have any drop-off and keep the – because, it's the first thing you're going to hear is we've got to have fresh legs for 4 days, and they can have it that way with going 8 and 9 deep. and not getting hurt.
Well, that means guys have got to step up and play.
Right.
That's going to be the key.
They
Byers
just can't come off the floor and do nothing.
No. Guys have got to come out and play and not get into foul trouble to force your bench to have to stay out there longer.
And then have to start shuffling the lineups around a little different than what you prepared for, and you're going like, uh-oh. But I really think they can make a run. Not because it's just what we have seen here of late. They've been building for this since November, and right now they keep dropping threes, a little inside game, and play the defense. Jansen Williams blocks, Jarrod West steals. Anything can happen. The team that takes the floor against Marshall is going to be uneasy. They're going to be uneasy.
Do you think so? Really easy? I mean, because
they're uneasy.
No. You really think though they're going to be uneasy?
I think UTEP's going. What do we defend? La Tech is going well. They've already got us once, and then you know who's sitting there at the next one? If they get them as 2 times Western, one was they had a 21-point lead and lost.
If they had to scrap, UTEP, give them credit. They had to scrap to get to this point.
Yeah.
They were in a situation where every
day was
every day was a tournament game for them because if you did not win in that pod, you were staying home.
Right now they're sitting back in El Paso with nothing. I mean, there's nowhere to go. So I'm sure they're taking 11th seed, and they're going to do their best to stay more than one game. And Danny knows that, so he'll bring their guns too.
And it's not like it was a relatively easy trip for them either.
No.
I mean, UTEP's a far bit away.
That's a pretty good haul from the western tip to well east.
I wonder if Marshall had an easier trip.
I don't know. Probably.
I mean, San Antonio to Frisco.
Only thing I'm guessing is UTEP hopped on a plane. That's just a guess.
That's something that Dan's talked about a lot. We won't get into it because
he's a lot of things about off-the-court issues and things, and he mentioned it a couple times, and you understand where he's coming from.
He loves talking about that.
Right now the issue is Frisco, and another day, another topic for that one, and his vision, so to speak. But right now his vision is 4 games in 4 days.
Andrew Taylor, he makes freshman team. He's all freshman.
Does he shave?
You could ask him next time we have him.
He's very youngish looking, but hey, put the ball in his hands. He's a wizard.
I'm not going to ask him that question. You can,
okay.
But when we come back, I did ask him some questions. And
not that one.
No, not that one. We'll talk to Andrew Taylor, who made all freshman team, when we continue with today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. Presented by Huntington Federal Savings Bank. Guests with Paul Swann appear via the Miller Lite phone lines.
We're here today at the Union Pub and Grill. Paul Swann and Dave Walsh with you on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. And coming up in just a moment, we're going to hear from Andrew Taylor. He was named to the Conference USA All-Freshman squad.
Not bad for somebody who's played half a year.
Yeah.
He didn't get eligible second semester. And I would say Danny would say he was an impact player. Had some off moments, but more often than not, he was on than off. Running the show out front, him and Taevion and Jarrod. So what he was asked to do, he did, and he got rewarded.
What do you think would have happened to this Marshall team if he was on the court maybe a full season?
Well, they might still be 11 seed because they didn't start playing conference, but some of those big-time games with Florida, Notre Dame, who knows if he'd have been out there. Who knows? I mean, his first game out, he starts and scores, 20-some? So, I mean, he was expected to be an impact player.
But keep this in mind. If he was out there from the beginning,
the flow would have been so
much
better.
Flow's better. He's out there. He's getting acclimated faster. He's becoming more a part of the offense faster.
Because he was on the job training, really.
And maybe that changes an outcome here or there.
Yeah. Because he really when he got eligible, he was really, okay, you're on the job now. You're on the clock.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Here's the ball.
But what you've been running in practice, once you get out of simulation, it's the real deal. It's not the same.
Yeah, because practice is just practice.
It's practice. Allen Iverson,
talking practice.
It's practice.
Practice.
It is practice.
That's it. It's practice.
But he did enough to get people's attention and say, hey, you should be a freshman on the freshman team. Regardless of how long you played, you did your job when you played.
So
he's on there.
And
I'm sure he's very excited about playing 4-4.
Let's put it this way. He's going to be at the Star and his first Conference USA tournament.
Yes.
He sounded excited to be there when I talked to him a while ago.
Yeah.
Let's hear my conversation with Andrew Taylor from about an hour or so ago. Here's Andrew.
I'm now joined by one of the recipients of the 2019-20 Conference USA All-Freshman team, and that's Andrew Taylor. And if you would, just talk about being on the team. It's always special when you're a freshman and you're recognized for being one of the best in the league.
Yeah, it feels really good. I wasn't really thinking about it at this point, being down here in Frisco. All the focus is on the conference tournament. But, it was just a shock to see that. That's just one of those things that you need. You just need to be – that's an acknowledgement of all the hard work I put in this summer, just everything leading up to this point, But, yeah, it feels pretty good. You guys feel locked in for this conference tournament. So, like I said, I want that team accomplishment more than I want the individuals.
Just looking at this award for a second before we talk about that team effort that's coming up, you got a late start, and you still made the list. I mean, that says something for what a lot of people thought about what you were doing when you did get in the game because, for some of these freshmen, they've been playing the entire season. You got a late start. I mean, you didn't lose that many games, but still, you were kind of from behind when you started playing.
Yeah, that was definitely tough. It was hard to sit back and watch, but I mean, I took advantage of it. It's about the only thing you can do, You can either sit there and pout about it or you can, learn and try to get better from it. Just watching guys like Jarrod and Taevion, run the offense and do everything they do on defense, it just elevated my game, just the mental part of it. I guess I got to sit back and really watch how it's done before I get out there and do it.
Andrew Taylor is joining us. He was named to the Conference USA All-Freshman team. Of course, you're now getting ready to play for the Conference USA Championship. The journey begins on Wednesday. And you're playing at the Star. It's a football practice facility converted into a basketball arena. What are your impressions? Just getting on the court, trying to get acclimated to it. It's never easy. Even if you're a veteran of that place now, it's never easy.
Shoot, yeah. I mean, I've never played there before, but it sounds like a pretty good scene for myself, just, traveling in AAU tournaments and playing in venues like that, courts that are transformed, these big arenas that are transformed into multiple courts. I think it's something like that from what I've heard. But, yeah, it's definitely going to be a difference, but I think as long as we do what we've been taught and what we've done all season, just elevate our game and just execute the game plan, it doesn't matter where we're playing as long as we execute and do what we do. I think we'll be all right.
Now, you've been on the road for a few days. You had a big win against UTSA, which locked down the 6th seed, and now you're in Frisco. But it's been a tough journey. You've had to fly out, bus out, spend a lot of time on the road. If you could just talk a little bit about the journey so far, as you're kind of hoping that this is a longer road trip when you get to Wednesday, not just end on Wednesday. You want this thing to go all the way to Saturday.
Yeah, for sure. The season's a grind. I used to hate traveling, but traveling with these guys, it's been a blessing. Just getting to see things that I usually don't. Traveling to different cities, across the country. Just thankful for that opportunity, just getting to see all these things and play in these, great arenas. But yeah, it's definitely tough. We got to stay mentally strong. Just we come down to Texas once or twice a year as it is. We just got to come down with the same mentality as we always do.
Andrew Taylor's with us. He was named to the Conference USA All-Freshman team. Now, keeping that mental toughness is key, but trying to stay fresh physically as well. You guys pretty much acclimated now. You've been on the road for a few days, so really no lag or anything. Everybody's feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I think everybody's feeling pretty good. We got a couple of days we can practice too, get all the shakiness out from whatever we had from traveling. Just we got to take care of our bodies, whatever that is you got to do. Everybody's routine is different every day. So, some guys, hop in the ice tub before you go to bed. Some guys, stretch before you go to bed. Just whatever you got to do to get yourself physically ready and get going.
Andrew Taylor with us, Conference USA All-Freshman team. Hey, congratulations. It's been fun watching you so far. Can't wait to see what's happening next in the tournament.
Thank you, sir.
Like how he called me, sir.
You feel good?
It's all polite. I feel old. It's all polite. Andrew Taylor called.
What would he have called me?
I don't know what he would have called you.
But he, again, like Jarrod, very humble, half a season, and as you mentioned, they did reward me for what they asked me to do. Run the ball, run the offense, score. Jarrod and Taevion were doing. I was able to step in, and 3 were better than 2, and here we are. We got one of 12 teams with a chance to win it.
Taevion Kinsey, we'll hear from him next here on today's edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
We're here today at the Union Pub and Grill. Paul Swann and Dave Walsh with you. It is Monday, March 9th. That means you can come down to the Union Pub and Grill, take advantage of the $1.50 bottles and $2 call shots every Monday here at the Union Pub and Grill. Or, of course, if you come down to the Union Pub and Grill, you can also take advantage of, the Union Pub and Grill's famous Southern Belle. You ever had the Southern Belle?
No, I haven't. I have not.
Dave, we're going to have the Southern Belle together.
One of these days, we'll have to do it.
We'll do the Southern Belle together,
yes.
And then we'll get some food from Southside Sliders here.
There we go.
You can order it, and it'll be brought to your table.
That's pretty stepping up, Herb.
Well, I'll tell you right now, you want to get a bite to eat here right now. Get here to the Union Pub and Grill. But we're not here to talk about that.
No,
well, actually, we are here to talk about that. But we're here to talk sports as well.
And I'm sure Taevion's excited too.
Taevion, he was excited. Good talking to him earlier this afternoon. He was named to the Conference USA second team. He doesn't want that.
No.
He'll take it, but he doesn't want that. He wants Conference USA championship. Yeah. Here's my conversation with Taevion Kinsey. Joining us now is Taevion Kinsey. He was named to the All-Conference USA second team. And Taevion, I know individual awards don't mean anything to you. You want to get that team victory, the championship. But this is pretty special to be on the second team. There are a lot of great guys in Conference USA. Just to be in the top 5, 10 of those players has to mean something special to you.
Yes, it does. I'm very thankful. All glory to God. I put in a lot of work for, to get this accomplishment. But it really, as big as an accomplishment it is, it really doesn't excite me too much. I'm down here. I'm so focused and locked in on this tournament. I'm ready to win. So.
Got to make you smile, though, to see that you're getting a lot of notice, not just you, but Jarrod West makes the all-defensive team. He's third team. Andrew Taylor, he's on the all-freshman team. And I'm sure there's a couple more guys, I'm sure in the back of your head thinking, you know what, maybe they should have made a team or two. Just because really when you think about defense, it's not just Jarrod. And when you think about the success of this team, it's not just you and Jarrod. It's Iron, it's Jansen, it's everybody. So, really, it's good to know that people are paying notice to you and your teammates.
Definitely. Jarrod, I felt like he should have got first team all defense last year. I feel like he kind of got robbed of that, but this year he leads the conference in steals, and hands down, to me, I don't see anybody better than him playing the defense that he does. I don't think it's anybody who can go day in and day out, put their body on the line, and go out there and play as hard as he does, 94 feet all the time. And then you got Andrew being a new guy, a newcomer coming into our team and then stepping up big and relieving some pressure from me and Jarrod, and then stepping up and being first team, all freshman team. It's just a lot of accomplishments, but also, like you said, it's just not us. It's our team. We got a lot of guys who make some big strides out, some improvement. Games have gotten better. Guys are getting confident. We have some guys like Michael Byers. He came through and won some big games for us. Really, almost just won like a full game on his own. Really sent us into overtime. We got Jansen Williams who steps up defensively when they go to the rim. He's blocking shots. You got Iron Bennett just being Iron controlling the offensive and defensive end in the paint. So we got a lot of guys who definitely I will always put my guys first before any of my accomplishments. And we're here because we're a team and not just players, just one player at a time. We're here as a unit. And as much as these awards, like I said, excite us, we still got our eye on the prize, the goal at hand to win it all down here. So.
Joining me is Taevion Kinsey, named second team All-Conference USA. Now, the prize itself is the Conference USA Championship, and you made your journey to Texas several days ago, so you've been on the road a long time. Yeah, how are you guys feeling after making all this travel and transitioning from one spot in Texas to another?
We're young. That's what everybody wants to say, that we're young when it comes to making mistakes. I say we're young when it comes to our bodies, being able to adapt. You know, we came off of winning, and then we got right on the bus and drove a 4.5-hour trip all the way to here now in Frisco. And guys have just, I think we're so locked in and so focused, and guys are so anxious and ready to play that our bodies aren't thinking about that. Everybody's hyped up. Adrenaline is up before the game even starts. Everybody's ready. Like, first day of practice today, we got some into the gym. Guys we were hitting a lot of shots, and it was looking real good. And going into practice tomorrow, we're going to keep the same energy, same intensity. And like I said, we're young. That traveling really, I feel like it only affects us when we really are, like, you know, in the midst of the middle part of the season. It's that time where it's kind of like we're in the middle and we're trying to get over the hump and then get to but now it's time to lock in. And so I feel like if your body's not ready, if you're not ready by now, then you just don't want it. But all my teammates are ready, and I just feel, like I said, the traveling really, it's a lot, but it doesn't affect us. Being together all the time, having bonding time, not having to worry about basketball a little bit right now. We had some days off, being able to hang with the guys, have just some free time to, you know, chill, and we go to the NBA games and see that type of atmosphere. It's just been fun. So we're trying to keep it fun, not really think too much about it. Go out there come Wednesday and be ready to lock in and focus.
Talk about the challenges of getting ready to play at the Star. Unique basketball venue. It's not a basketball arena. It's a football field that's been converted for 2 courts, and that's got to be a challenge no matter how many times you've seen it. Some of the news guys, I'm sure it'll be their first time seeing even a venue like this. You've been around the block, so you know what to expect, but still, how hard is it just to get ready to play in a venue like that?
It's very challenging, I would say, especially when these new guys see it tomorrow. They're going to see it's a couple of little shadows out there on the court. The atmosphere, the way the court is set up, how it feels when it looks like when you are looking at the court, behind the court, how it looks behind it, not having a crowd behind the court, having it just on the sides of the court. The room's a little tighter, but I mean, they can be, you know, okay, I'm gonna focus in harder and not let it affect me, or we can use it as just excuses, and I don't think that's what we're going to do. But we've kind of preached it to the guys all year long. We wanted to get to this point, and then when we get to this point, it's going to be some tough times, and we always face some adversity. But going in there, I think it's going to be good to go in there tomorrow and practice and let guys go in this room. I know as a freshman last year when I played on it, it was shooting around. I wouldn't say in the game. In the game, I was kind of making some shots, but like shoot around, it was kind of like I had to get used to it. But any basketball player, you have to get used to a rim you don't really shoot on all the time. It's like playing at a away gym. I mean, at a away team gym, you got to get used to their course. That's why we have shoot around. So I'm sure guys that get a couple shots in. It's pretty spacious. On top of that, having all those courts around, having that atmosphere kind of brings back that AAU feeling. For some of the younger guys, that's probably what they're going to say, because that's what I said when I came in there. Like, it feels like AAU. It feels like you win or go home, and has that type of feeling to it. Or next team up, there's teams watching you play. It feels like that again. I think that's what makes it fun more than challenging or scary. So I think we'll be fine when we go into that. I think they'll be ready for the challenge.
Taevion Kinsey joining us. He was named to the Conference USA second team. Second team's cool, but I'd rather you just go ahead and win that championship and add that to your trophy list. So how about that? That'd be the deal?
Yeah, that's the deal. I'm definitely locked in, focused on winning that championship. It's a dream of mine. It's been a dream of mine ever since last year when I heard the last buzzer and we were going home, and it was just sad. And I know I was a newcomer, and it was kind of like a surreal moment, like coming from winning it all and then coming in. You just felt like you don't want to feel that feeling ever again. So I'm going to do my best. Our team is going to do their best to go out there and bring that trophy home to Huntington.
Taevion Kinsey, All-Conference USA second team. Congratulations, and we'll hopefully see you sometime next week after Saturday.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hopefully, we can say...
With a smile on his face for the trophy.
Yeah.
On a selection show again. Like they did 2 years ago. They had a nice little selection get-together, and they found out where they were going, so they would love to have a repeat of that.
Hopefully that's going to be the case next week. Well, this week, really. We're talking Sunday.
It's
Hopefully
Sunday.
we're going to be at the Cam Henderson Center on Sunday.
Right.
So that's my goal. I will be over the Cam. Hopefully you're there with me as well,
Yeah.
and we're all watching that big scoreboard to see where the herd ends up.
Right.
So that's the goal.
Be nice.
And if we're not at the Cam Henderson Center, it was a great season.
Yes.
And we'll go from there.
Yeah, and remember, everybody is back. No senior night, so they all got a year under their belt, and I'm sure they'll bring just a little bit more next year.
Yeah. So Marshall in action on Wednesday. We'll have it for you right here on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. The Thundering Herd, of course, have got the late game. 10 o'clock will be tip time. 9 o'clock is our air time. Stay up late, my friends. Stay up late. Yeah. We'll have you covered all the way. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing I hate about this tournament. You have so many teams on the East Coast, but yet it's such a West Coast-centric tournament.
Yeah. You lose that hour, Central Time Zone, and then monitoring the game the other night when I heard that late when I went on, and then you see who plays at noon, and you're going, really? Of course, the women do play the first game on Wednesday. They got, I think, Southern Miss, and if they get by them, they going to have a real tall order with Rice, won the regular season title.
The good news is they're there. So if you've made a trip, you've got something to at least spend the day doing.
Yeah.
We've got to, before we say good day, we've got to acknowledge that Marshall Baseball's Wade Martin named Conference USA Co-Pitcher of the Week today. So good news for the baseball team. They're starting to heat up a little bit.
A little bit, and that's big for him because he's had – I remember in high school the things he did at Willersburg, and then he's had the arm trouble here, and hopefully with as much exercise and things he's done, he can finally deliver because at Willersburg he could bring it. He's the big reason they won 2 state championships. And speaking of that, Fairland plays Wednesday night, and your West Virginia Metro News people were involved with the state girls basketball tournament. We've got Midland and St. Joe. St. Joe's going to win. I'm sorry. I told Bernie Dolan during wrestling it's going to be ugly. They're going to pace 3 teams. You saw what the regional scores were. It's going to be equally as bad down there.
So what you're saying is give them the trophy. Go ahead and just hand it to them now?
Yeah, do that. And now, of course, Shannon, I still let him live that down when Gilmer County beat him, I think, 2 years ago. I still ask him how that happened. That was a fluke. That was a fluke. I think if they play their A game, it's going to be unreal. And then you've got Midland. If they could get past the first round, they'll get defending champs. And if 2 certain teams get by their first round game, Governor Justice and his Greenbrier East will play Beckley, and we'll see how he terms the game this time.
I like how you said that, how he terminates.
How he terms the play of Beckley this time.
Don't forget, big matchup tonight. Ashland Paul Blazer, taking on Rowan County. That is coming up tonight. I believe is 8 p.m. It's going to be the tip top there. That's in Moorhead. That team could go all the way and win the Sweet 16 in Kentucky. Ashland Paul Blazer.
Yeah, I mean, undefeated, ranked number 1 in the state. We've talked about it. You think of all the teams, Lexington, Louisville, and other places, and here's Ashland. And I think if they win tonight, they have to sit out a while before they go to the boys' tournament because the girls go first. Russell's down there for the girls, but quite an accomplishment for Ashland.
You know, they've got a tradition, though.
Yeah.
They've won more games in Kentucky than anybody.
I know.
They have, I think, won more games in the Sweet 16 than anyone, if I remember
amazing
that correctly.
After Mark Maynard wrote the book about all the games they've won in football, and now here's the basketball team just continue to pile up the W's. Unbelievable number.
Yeah.
Whether it's Sweet 16, it's been regional, section, the whole 9 yards. They're just getting the job done.
We've got all that to follow this week, and we will hopefully keep track of all of it starting tomorrow. But we've got games tonight. We've got Marshall basketball on Wednesday. Of course, we've got the show tomorrow. For Jason Toy back in the studio, we appreciate him as always. For Dave Walsh, I'm Paul Swann. This has been your Monday edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.